their goals. Draw up a plan to achieve excellence. Ensure that public funds are used for the purposes for which they are intended. There's an example. To give confidence to the ministry that you can run the university. And you can show them the plan, you can show them the achievements, and you can show them the gaps between, so they have confidence in you. And that's part of building the trust. And that's part of enabling the university to exercise autonomy. I'm going to put definition. And the definition is planning is the continuous and collective exercise of foresight in the integrated process of informed decision-making affecting the future. I'm going to pick out the key words. Continuous. So unlike my friend in the country who put it in the drawer, it's a continuous process. Collective. It's not just the rector saying, this is what we're going to do. Stakeholders, external, internal, are involved. Exercise of foresight. We know what we do now, but we're going to live in the future, so we need to plan for that. Informed decisions. That suggests that there needs to be some rather good data backing up your plan. How many meetings have I sat in when deans argued with the budget? The figures are wrong. Finance have got the figures wrong. It's much more efficient if there is investment in getting good data. Now, what else can come from a strategic planning process? Well, firstly, if you involve other people, it generates ideas and choices. But again, why employ the best people in their subjects if you don't listen to them about the way those subjects are developed and so on? Another good reason is monitoring where you actually get to. Setting the values of your university. Being a discussion involving staff and students and the leadership of your university can be a very rich one. I can tell you in Stockholm University they had a very big problem. There was an absolute chasm between what the staff wanted and what the leadership wanted, and they resolved it by talking about values together, agreeing what those values were, building on that. Now, who should lead the production of a strategic plan? Well, I would argue that it should be led by the rector or the vice rector, but also there should be a very big upwards engagement. So the deans and even levels below should do. Now, I'm going to leave it there. I've said several times this morning that successful universities and excellent universities work to a plan. When you get this document, and I think you may be getting it in Arabic as well as English, the information is succinctly there. So if you want to work through it with your staff, then you'll have the resources to do it. And if you think I've been too brief with all of this, just come up and ask me afterwards, and I'll be happy to explain. Right now, I'm very pleased to hand to Hussein, who is going to provide a case study, which I think you will find puts a lot of substance, a lot of sort of real-world examples onto the sort of things which we'll be doing this morning.
Thank you very much, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to the organizers. I'm very pleased to be among the people here. نتكلم بالعربي والإنجليزي عشان نتعب المترجم. أنا إن شاء الله اليوم نتكلم عن case study. Basically, it's an application or an extension to what David was saying. Those of you who do not know, the University of Sharjah is located, of course, in Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. And as you can see, there's a beautiful campus. It has been described by many of our visitors as a resort rather than a campus. But that's the vision or the way His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan Qasim, he's the ruler of Sharjah, and he's the one who actually made sure that the university has an Islamic architecture to it. The University of Sharjah is one of the biggest universities in the UAE. It has, as you can see, 15,000 students, and by the UAE standards, that's high. In fact, this is the highest number. And we have 15 colleges, and they are distributed over 90 programs, bachelor and diploma. And also we have 31 programs in postgraduate studies, and we have 3 research institutions. So it is described in the UAE as the most comprehensive, within the UAE context, university in the UAE. What we also have is we cover the Emirate of Sharjah. So we have branches in the main campus, city of Sharjah, and then we have 4 more in different cities in the UAE, Sharjah, Kalba, Wafaqa, Leha, Zayd, and if you're familiar with these cities. Most importantly, that we have in the University of Sharjah over 97 nationalities. That is students from 97 nations within the University of Sharjah. It's quite multicultural university. And that's something we are very proud of, because definitely it brings an additional sort of component to the University of Sharjah. And so, before I start, the University of Sharjah is a young institution. عمرها 20 سنة, 20 years old. And for any new institution, you go through phases, or at least the initial 3 or 4 phases in which you go through building the university. So trying to reach a stable sort of plateau in terms of the number of students, in terms of the number of colleges, in terms of the number of disciplines, and so forth. And that's what the University of Sharjah has gone through the first 1 or 2nd strategic cycle, because we are now in our 4th strategic cycle. Each one of them is 5-year strategy. And so right now we're starting a new strategy. We'll start September, and then we'll go for 5 years till 23-24. And what I saw in David's presentations is exactly what we went through over the past academic year in preparing our strategic plan. And I can definitely say that what he presented today is really a framework for how you develop your strategy for a higher institution or a higher academic institution such as universities or colleges or so forth. It's excellent, and I thank you very much, because I went through it, and actually we went as a team through it. In fact, in addition to my administrative post, I'm also the coordinator for the Central Committee for Strategy or Strategic Planning at the University of Sharjah. So we have gone through workshops, we had people like yourself, where they gave us all these, and this is excellent, sort of summary of what we have gone through. Now, Dave will probably say this tomorrow and mention again, the first thing that you do in a strategy is you go through what's called situational analysis. You look at, okay, where do I want to be? What is the community like? What are the affecting factors or the factors affecting my strategy? What are the driving factors for my strategy? And this is the situational analysis where you even look at your capabilities within your resources, your financial resources, your human resources, and so forth. So the first thing that we've done that, and I cannot cover everything, but I will just give you glimpses of what we've done over the past year. So the first thing we did, we looked at what's so-called challenges facing higher institutions, التحديات التي تواجه مؤسسات التعليم العالي. And for that, the source is the University World Ranking, where they had an article. It was for a while, where they talked about what are the main challenges that are facing institutions, higher education institutions. And I just list them very quickly. One is the technological advances that we see today in communication, and especially something in social media. And as you can see, this is a very famous sort of figure where it shows the technology over time and our adaptability. And as you can see now, where we are now, we're lagging behind technology, especially in higher education institutions, and I would say more so in our Arab universities or our higher education institutions, where we are way behind technology. In terms of, let's say, learning management systems, in terms of, systems in general, HREs, all, whatever you think of technology, we're not utilizing technology as we should. Also, the other thing that I think Dave talked about it quite a bit, which is the job market, the evolving job market. Nowadays, there are new jobs in the market, which, if you look back at our curriculum, we do not cater to these jobs. And I will give you one or two examples, and I also give you an example of what the University of Sharjah has done. Also, the changes in student expectations. Students do not, I was educated in the late 70s, early 80s. The difference between us then and the students now is quite a bit in terms of expectations. And I break on that very quickly. And last but not least, and this is, I think, has been covered quite a bit, which is the accreditation and ranking. So this is something that you've seen just to highlight the importance of technology. As you can see, it took 75 years for telephone to reach 50 million. However, today, in 35 days, one of the games reached 50 million. And this shows you the power of technology, the power of social media, the power of communication that we should utilize in our education, higher institution educations. Now, jobs, new jobs. We see that there are several new jobs that are emerging in the job market. And for example, الأمن والسلامة والتكنولوجيا الفضائية, أمن المعلومات, cloud-based computing, data science, artificial intelligence, and so forth. As I mentioned earlier, these need special qualifications. These need us to go back and revisit our curriculum, so that when our graduates come out of the institution, they are equipped with skills that they meet the needs of such jobs. In the University of Sharjah, we have opened, and it will start in September, the College of Computing and Informatics. And in this college, what we did, we combined several departments which usually do not come together. For example, if you look at computer science, computer engineering, management information systems, applied design, space sciences and technologies, artificial intelligence, these used to be housed in different colleges. So now what we've done, we combine these in a very nice way, and we established a program. It's called Computing and Informatics, and it has already been accredited by the Ministry of Education, and it will start accepting students soon. So this, hopefully, with this college, we are planning to make sure that our students who are interested in nanotechnology, interested in anything related to computing, they will get they will get their education through this college. Now, I wanted to just spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes on the changes in the expectation of the students. Now, this is due to probably 4 points. there is globalization, there is availability of information, the value of the degree. You and I, who were educated here in, let's say, I was educated in Canada, but from the Middle East and North Africa, in my time, it used to be, if you get a BSc, you got a job. Right? If you get an MSc, you're guaranteed a job. If you're a PhD, then you're guaranteed, you get a better job. That trend is not there anymore. Now, the expectations of the employability because of the degree is now less than it used to be before. And also, I talked about the job market, the evolving job market and the new jobs that are available now, and they need special skills. I'm not going to talk about this because of time. It just shows how the numbers, the increase in numbers in higher education students in higher education in millions. Now, what is student success? Student success is defined always in terms of, has been defined in terms of who attains the degree. You get a degree in engineering, in sciences, and that seemed to be at, up until recently, that is a measure of the student success. But as I mentioned, because of the new development, we've seen a lot of students who are educated with degrees, but they cannot find jobs related to their degrees. So now, student success is actually becoming a complex issue where it's defined by a lot of, let's say, additional attributes. So, for example, المشاركة في المجتمع، الحصول على وظيفة والمرتب اللي حصله في الوظيفة، معدلات الرضا student satisfaction was talked about earlier، معدلات التخرج student retention، and even more جودة التعليم والمهارات المكتسبة، التفاعل والفعالية في المجتمع على المدى البعيد، الرضا المعيشي للخريج، هناك بعض الخريجين يتحصل على شغله لكن ما يكون راضي بنوعية الشغل الرفاهية والسعادة داخل الحرم الجامعي. فإذا ما هو في الماضي كنا نعرف هو ما يسمى بنموذج السبب والتأثير cause and effect, where you have few inputs and then you have outputs. But we rarely looked at what's so-called student experience. So student experience, that means how does the students go or live through their what's so-called student journey. And that, of course, many factors that goes into it. Starting from, let's say, the curriculum, starting from the campus life, starts from the sports, cultural activities, and so forth, in addition to the teaching and learning methodologies. So what is جامعة الشارقة or نموذج جامعة الشارقة? جامعة الشارقة, we developed what's so-called spirit. It's partly, I just jumped to it, but this is, I mentioned, this is the University of Sharjah, how the number of students and the number of graduates, and these are the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th strategic planning that we are doing now. We're focusing on experience, we're focusing on sustainability, and that's sustainability, quality, and agility. That these are the things that we are focusing on. Now, spirit. This is related to what Dave was talking about. This is our strategy for the 1924. We call it spirit. Simply, it's the acronym that students, people, innovation, research, industry, and community, teaching and learning. Just to make us remember that, I'm sure Dave will talk about this tomorrow, where one of the components of the strategy has to be something that you can remember, you can relate to. It comes from within the institution, applicable, vital, all of these wonderful things that he has mentioned. So there is a focus on students. And remember, students is not in teaching and learning. This is the student life within campus. And also people, that means the administration. We are focusing on the administration, the development of the administration and so forth. There are, these are main initiatives, and each initiative, they have objectives that follow in underneath. Innovation, I can't read it and I can't remember but innovation, there is sustainability, and also focus on the innovative research. The University of Sharjah has been known to be a research-oriented institution. We're doing very well. And we want to continue that. We want to continue on excelling in research, and mainly with the flavor of focus on technology transfer, focus on research related to the community, and so forth. Industry and community, we wanted to be connected. People talked a lot this morning about community and community services and so forth. And of course, teaching and learning, where the focus now is again, some of the things that were mentioned this morning is that we wanted to utilize technology, for example, in teaching and learning. We wanted to go away from the traditional teaching and learning methodologies where the students are not sort of happy with. So again, I see a lot of people are not, they're tired, and we already had some people mention that. So I will stop here. And this is an example, sort of a case study of what the University of Charlotte has done in its strategy. Everything is available. If somebody wants to, I have my email address here. If somebody interested in our actual experience with developing our strategy, please contact me. We have everything documented. Actually, it's on a website that you can follow from A to Z, from our initial meetings, group meetings, workshops, mentioned to the main strategic till the development of the final version of the strategy, all available, and we'll be very happy to share it with you. Thank you very much.